on this Take a Look Superman Takeover. We're flying headfirst into Superman Legacy.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Meet David Cornsford, the new Man of Steel in his most heroic role yet.
As great as he is, maybe Superman didn't completely think through the ramifications of the Bravia thing.
Rachel Brosnahan steps into the iconic shoes of Lois Lane.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman.
Director James Gunn redefines the hero for a new generation.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
We'll break down the jaw-dropping action.
Get out of here.
The emotional moments that might leave you breathless.
Home. Take me home.
Exclusive interviews with the stars and filmmakers who brought it to life.
Welcome to the Daily Planet.
This is your ultimate look inside the most debated superhero film of the decade. Up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Take a Look!
Look in our Superman takeover, Superman 2025. We are doing a half-hour special. You know we're excited about it if we ordered from Etsy cheap, unauthorized t-shirts for it. Yeah, we're doing a special because, one, I thought it was going to be great, and two, there's no going back. We already ordered the special, so we're doing it. And Steph Sanders also ordered his t-shirt.
I don't know who Steph Sanders is, but thank you. Pleased to meet you. I'm Claudio Kent.
Fantastic. So Steph and I spent the $11 to get the t-shirts on Etsy. You didn't wear it. How's life at the Daily Planet, Mr. Kent?
Daily Orbit is okay. It's great at Claudio Kent's headquarters.
All right, Claudio. Ready to do the half-hour special?
I'm ready.
You ready to commit?
I'm ready.
How do I transform
Well,
you?
you want to see me transform, you got to spin me.
Spin you? All right, step back. This might explode. Hey! Super Steph Sanders has arrived.
I'm back, buddy.
Hey, you missed your friend from the Daily Planet.
Claudio's pretty cool, huh?
Guy looks sharp in glasses. All right, so we got our cheap, unauthorized t-shirts on. We can officially launch this special. When you and I first talked about the new movie and our thoughts, you said this movie wouldn't even exist if not for what?
The 1978 first Superman film that I thought was iconic. Christopher Reeves in it. It was the best.
Exactly. Now, keep in mind, you were like 3 years old at the time, but still, this was a game changer. Like, say what you will about Marvel, but superhero movies would not have arrived had this not done so well.
Definitely not.
Oh, R.I.P. Gene Hackman. You had Richard Pryor go through this franchise.
Yes.
A lot of people touched the Superman movies back in the day. Now this century, Superman has arrived. What are your thoughts initially? We'll get into a deep review later.
I actually loved it. I liked it. Each film I take with individual criticism or critique, and I loved it. I loved the personability, relatability of the characters. I love the humor.
I say if you go back and you look at that first movie that you mentioned and watch it, like critique it like everyone's critiquing this film,
Right.
I don't think they would like it as much either if they held it the same weight and accountability. All right, regardless, I think it's super cool that Christopher Reeve family got involved. Will Reeve makes a cameo in it, and we talked to him about, you know, the new Superman. Look.
I said to David, you don't need my blessing, but you have it. Like, go ahead, do your thing. We root for people, right? We're in the business of building people up and helping people and giving more than we take. So we're thrilled for him. He's a Juilliard-trained actor, which sits well with us as the children of a Juilliard-trained actor who made his name as Superman. We're very happy for everyone who's on this Superman journey.
Well, if you talk about, like, you know, famous actor kids and how entitled and bratty they are, Christopher Reeve and his wife did it quite well. Their kids are some of the kindest people on the planet.
What a great guy. That guy, jeez.
All right, now, who knows? Warner Brothers may have given him some money to say some nice things about David. Regardless, I thought David pulled it off well. What'd you think?
I think he did excellent. I want to see him in more.
Yeah, we caught up with him back in the day along with the cast to talk about it. Take a look.
What is this? Crypto! What the hey, dude? I thought you destroyed the whole Superman robots. I thought I told you to keep an eye on him.
We feed the canine, but he is unruly. And he realizes we are not flesh and blood and couldn't, in our heart of hearts, care less whether he lives or dies.
Stop, Crypto.
To have a director who is so known for spectacle and for heart as well, but I think he has a great simplicity to the heart in his films. To realize that he also is interested in incredibly complex dialogue. There was nothing that was off the table. There was nothing that was not of interest to him. The first time I saw a glimpse in the monitor, after we had shot something, I saw a little bit of playback of the suit, of me in the suit on camera. I thought, yeah, that looks pretty freaking cool. It's gonna be a fun movie. We've got a great cast, love hanging out with each other, and are very excited about what we're making. I think we're making some really cool stuff that's gonna be worth waiting for and worth getting hyped about and worth seeing on a big screen.
All right, so I know it gives it away. A lot of CG going on in this film. Not a lot of practical, right?
Yeah, but gee, can you get any more handsome than this guy?
I was thinking, and I was also thinking about, like, the flyingness really seems reminiscent. I mean, not as cheeseball as the old blue screen as Christopher Reeve, but a little reminiscent of that if you think about it. I thought David did a good job.
I think he did a great job. I loved it, so.
All right, so let's talk about Mr. Terrific. Eddie Gathegi in this. I think hints that Mr. Terrific, as we both suspect, is going to be a much bigger player in the DC universe.
I hope he is. I love the nuances of the character. I think he just fit in so well with it. He did a fantastic job.
Yeah, watch someone try to say as much as they can without plot spoiling or giving away too much. Just look at especially the last 3 seconds of this. You can tell he's got some information he wants you to know. Take a look.
This man is an extraordinary person, but he's also got a lot of depth. He lost his wife in an accident, so he's dealing with some emotional issues as well. So he's not perfect. He's a flawed human being. And he's also a human being in a world of gods and monsters. So this character, I think he's a special sauce in the equation of the DCU.
See? Yes.
He thinks he knows.
Yes.
I bet you the checks have already cashed.
I love it. I can't wait.
All right, so just like you said, Superman, this movie would not be around if not for the 1978 Superman. Superman himself wouldn't be around without Lois Lane. Coming up next, we'll go behind the scenes. We'll meet the new Lois Lane. What a difference she makes. Let's take a look. Our half-hour Superman 2025 special continues. Don't move. Hey, and welcome back. It's our half-hour special dedicated to all things Superman 2025. Because we think it's awesome? Maybe. Because we already committed to it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on right here. We already bought our $11 Etsy t-shirts. We'll put a link at the end. No, we won't. All right, so Steph, so far we've said this movie wouldn't exist, and you largely said if not for the 1978 Superman, right?
Correct. Yes, definitely.
Dare I say that Superman altogether in the movie format wouldn't exist if Superman's other half, Lois Lane, wasn't so strong?
Never would not exist.
Got it.
Yes.
What'd you think about Lois Lane this time around?
I love Lois. When I see her, I see Lois Lane, so I loved her.
What about the casting? You always said something about the casting of Lois Lane.
I love it because they're relatable young ladies. Like, they're not too beautiful where men like us don't think we can get them. With somebody like, they're relatable. So we feel like we can all get a Lois Lane.
The opinions of comedian Steph Sanders do not necessarily reflect the staff and management of Take a Look affiliates and asides. However, yeah, I will say that. I will say that they pick someone way more natural, right?
Yes.
And I love Rachel's take on this. Rachel Brosnahan is phenomenal in everything she does, as she is in this. Look.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
I was always aware of Lois Lane. I grew up on the Chris Reeve Superman with Margot Kidder, and I just thought she was amazing and so smart and funny and sharp, and it still kind of feels like a dream. I love that she's relentless in her life. She's relentless about her pursuit of the truth. She's relentless about the things that she cares about. She's passionate, and I feel like it makes her aspirational. I'm inspired by her, somebody who goes after everything full freight and who will literally go to the ends of the earth for the things she believes in. One of the things I love the most about Superman is that he believes in the power of people to be good. And I feel like he's curious about what it means to be human and wants to uplift the people around him and honor the people who raised him in Ma and Pa Kent. And so he's a superhero, but he's a superhero who's both invincible and also in search of his own humanity.
22 people in the hospital, over 20 million in property damage. It does make you wonder.
Wonder what?
As great as he is, maybe Superman didn't completely think through the ramifications of the Bravia thing.
Well, if this guy is even from Bravia.
What do you mean? His name is the Hammer of Bravia.
Yeah, I doubt his parents named him that, Jimmy. We have no clue what his actual goal was here.
I love that she mentioned Margot Kidder, back to the 1978 Superman, Lois Lane, right?
Yes, yes. I love the homage.
They have not only the same kind of look, but also they sound a little bit alike, right?
They do.
Like they both got up and gargled with some scotch.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Which is how he gives the sexy tones, too. All right, so moving right along, where would we be without a great supervillain? Some would say just shave the head and they got the part, right?
That's right. I want it. That's why I shaved my head.
What happened? Were you up against Nicholas Hoult?
Well, I look better as Claudio Kent.
We'll see. He did get the gig, and we just sit down with him to talk about it. You're next, Lex Luthor. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. It's our half-hour special halfway through as we talk about all things Superman. Be sure and like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And also the people in 177 different countries worldwide watching on AFN. Thank you for truly keeping America safe. Right. Where do we find you, Steph Sanders?
I am Steph Sanders everywhere. I am Steph Sanders and currently the Barely Tall Enough tour. You Google it, you'll see me everywhere.
There you go. And more on that in a minute. In the meantime, let's talk about other bald-headed supervillains. Not calling you a supervillain, I just needed a segue into Nicholas Hoult. Casting choice, what'd you think?
I loved it. This is the guy you want to take to your poker game. I love him. He was like a great villain. Great. Everything about him says villain and says, hey, I want to be my best friend.
I'm saying we caught up with him on set. Look.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation.
Love him as a character. I think, you know, that was one of the things that I think James has really nailed in this script is Lex, you know, is the bad guy for the story, but there's also a lot of things in his character and in his ideas and persona that maybe are right and aren't initially too crazy of an idea. So as misguided as he might be, his moral perspective and judgment off, he kind of believes in his soul that he's doing the best thing for humanity and he can protect them, and that these, you know, meta-humans are a threat to us all. And I think that place is quite a pure sense of where he's starting out from. I think the thing that jumped out to me was that it was a James Gunn script and his style of writing. You can kind of instantly imagine what this film becomes. Reading the script, I was like, oh, fantastic. It's James Gunn's take on a Superman story and world and all these exciting characters and ideas that he's focused in on from the comics. So that's what was thrilling about it. I can just say that I'm excited for it, and I've got to read the script, I've got to be on set and see a small part of the movie. And from everything that I've seen, I'm like, oh, this is a movie that I would love to go to the cinema and see. So hopefully other people do too.
I love that he mentioned that James Gunn wrote specifically to him. That character reeks of James Gunn, and he played it well. What complaints do you hear online about him?
I hear these a little bit too vanilla, too flat, but that's why I said I would love him as my poker guy. No tails, no twitches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That first Evil review said exactly that, kind of flat. And I said, hey, have you guys never seen this guy's range? Did you not see Mad Max Fury Road with the that guy?
Right, but we can't recollect that in this movie, though. So.
It's true, and I'm sorry you didn't get the gig. Maybe in the multiverse.
Maybe.
All right. Hey, coming up next, the aforementioned James Gunn. I love that I talked to this guy early on about his defense of superhero movies altogether, and now he's kind of the guy. James Gunn, then and now, next. Hey, welcome back to our half-hour special, All Things Superman. About to wrap it up. I think we got our money's worth out of our Etsy t-shirts.
No, don't lie. This is Temu.
I can't even afford Temu. Thanks for upgrading. All right, so James Gunn, then and now. I caught up with him back in the day. A famous movie maker whose name won't be mentioned, Scorsese, said he didn't like comic book movies, thought they had destroyed everything. He jumped to defense. He's the guy. Take a look.
I want to quote you, but I want to make sure I read it so I don't screw it up, because I love this quote I read about you. You said, if you think people who make superhero movies are dumb, come out and say we're dumb. But if you as an independent filmmaker or a serious filmmaker think you put more love in your characters than Russo brothers do Captain America, Joss Whedon does the Hulk, or I do a talking raccoon, you're mistaken.
That's true.
So who are these people that are attacking such?
Well, I think I made that quote at a time when there were a lot of negative things being said about superhero and comic book movies during the Oscars by some people that were creating movies that were up for Oscars. And the director who actually said that apologized to me, so I don't want to nail him.
Who was it?
I'm not going to say because he apologized. But I think that there were different people. You know, they have. You know, sometimes people have an attitude about these types of movies. But the truth is I spent 3 years of my life working on every aspect of this movie from top to bottom. I do nothing else but work on this movie. I love these characters. I love Rocket. I spend all of my time thinking about them. I go to bed every night thinking about them. I wake up every morning thinking about them. I put my entire heart and soul into them. And to say that somehow makes me, you know, less of a filmmaker or someone who isn't as committed to the art of filmmaking because I love these characters or because they're comic book movies, screw you. You know, it's like that's not how I see it.
Amen. Well said. Just wanted you to say it again.
Well, screw you, filmmaker. And like he said, Scorsese has since apologized for that. All right, so that was him only 5 years ago. Our friend Tara Hitchcock caught up with her like a couple days ago, and we talked.
Take a look.
Summer movies be nothing without talking to Tara Hitchcock. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. I can't get over how young James Gunn looked in your interview. I feel like he was out of college. What year was that interview?
I know, it's only been about 4.5 years, but quite a stressful 4.5 years, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he's got a lot riding on the DC studio's shoulders.
Can I talk about something off the top? You're sitting down with someone who probably, if you do the math, makes about $70 million a year these days, one of the most influential people in comic books right now, and he's more geeked out about a $3 sample of ice cream in front of him.
Yeah, I almost felt like I was interrupting his love fest with the blizzard, but we got to talk about a lot of things. Take a look.
This is the Dairy Queen Superman Blizzard that they brought to set today, and I was eating it as you walked in, and I will stop now because it's not fair to you, but it's delicious.
This is how James Gunn does his interviews. He just eats on camera.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
I read an interview you told David, he's talked about it too, that he had to work on his shoulders and his vulnerability.
That's right.
What did you have to work on before doing this?
You know, not my shoulders, but my vulnerability. I think it was, you know, coming into this project, you know, I normally write about characters that are very edgy and, you know, oftentimes mean characters that, like, little by little we whittle down and we find something beautiful there, you know, whether it's Rocket or Star-Lord or Peacemaker or whomever. In this movie, it was a much different story. It's about a guy who really is good. He's got flaws like anybody. But at the end of the day, he just wants to help people and save people, and you know, and be a good person, and that's coming from such a different place for me that I had to reorient myself towards storytelling.
Has it made you softer, or were you always kind of soft?
I've always been a balance of soft and hard.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I'm very tough. Like I'm very, you know.
You get things done.
I get things done when I'm working, and so I'm always like that. But I'm also pretty sensitive.
You know, you can't please everybody, and if you look online, you haven't pleased everybody. I liked it. I thought it was an enjoyable summer movie. However,
yeah.
what did you think?
I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, I work with an independently owned theater chain, the largest in the country, Harkins Theater. So I will always recommend going to see this on the biggest screen possible. You must. A lot of CGI in this, which I know you can expect in a superhero film, but it just felt a little bit odd to me. But I do like me some David Cornsweet. I'll say that much. He's adorable.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if nothing else, like it came out in the interview, he's got the shoulders for it.
Yeah, he's got great shoulders.
Tara Hitchcock, Harkins Theaters nationwide, and where else?
My Instagram. You know, just like Ma in this movie, who can't even figure out how to FaceTime her son. I'm not really great with social media, but I am on Instagram and I'm trying to do some stuff there. So it's at Tara on TV. Thanks, Mark, for asking.
Steph Sanders, she's doing it for the gram. Doing it for the gram.
Doing it for the gram, like you. Everything's for the gram. Hey, I'd like to throw out, and she's my friend. She kind of has that authoritative Lois Lane kind of voice, too.
She does.
Maybe gargling with scotch as well. I don't know.
Same bourbon.
Who knows? All right, to wrap it up, I will say this about the film. Is it my favorite summer movie this summer? I don't know. The rest of them aren't out yet. Should it be judged as harshly as it's been judged?
No.
I don't think so. What do you think?
I loved it. I like I said, I take each movie as an individual piece of art, and I loved it. And you just got to get into it. That is Superman. Who doesn't love Superman in a superhero movie? Stop judging. Everybody wants to be perfect. Everybody wants everything to be perfect,
right?
And they're not. Stop
Just
it.
Throw some popcorn in your pie hole and shut up.
Shut up. Eat a cookie and some juju beans.
Look, I got kind of cranky like James Gunn was when that guy came out. I'll tell you this. Hey, Warner Brothers, you want a hit? That's your sequel right there. Give the dog a movie.
The dog definitely stole the show.
And as aforementioned, Mr. Terrific, that would be a great spinoff. And Eddie may have mentioned that may have happened.
Be fantastic. It's going to happen.
To sum it all up, that's it. Thanks for watching on AFN Worldwide. Find comedian Steph Sanders where?
I am Steph Sanders everywhere and Barely Tall Enough tour as well.
Yeah, and his birthday, August 20th, Laugh Factory show. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. We got some time. In the meantime, if I spin you, does more stuff happen? We'll see you next time on Take a Look on YouTube. Like and subscribe.